welcome to Metaphysics. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. In this video we will be discussing the 7 Hermetic Principles. When it comes to the study of metaphysics, there are a set of laws, divine principles which govern the metaphysical world and how this world functions. These principles are the foundation and starting point for anyone who is interested in the serious study and practice of metaphysics and metaphysical activities. If you have ever wondered how and why magic works, the 7 Hermetic Principles are the laws on which all forms of magic are based. They are the how the Creator creates as well as all those created in the Creator's image. An excellent example of the 7 principles expressed in our physical world is the rainbow. When light is broken up and examined, when it passes through a prism for example, we get to see visually the 7 spectrums of frequency that light is composed of. There are 7 expressions of source energy that are constantly expressing themselves in a variety of ways in our world and also within us. When the 7 frequencies are examined on the psychological level, then we get the gods and archetypes. This is also where the idea of the chakra systems within us comes from. The chakras, 7 in number, each emit their own frequency and are normally color-coded the same as the rainbow. On every level of reality, the 7 principles can be found lurking within. The idea of magic spells is based upon the combining of specific frequencies together in order to produce a desired result. So, without further ado, let's move on to the first principle. The principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. The Kabbalion. The first Hermetic principle establishes that all of creation is mental. Life can be likened unto a dream world which we inhabit. Just like in a dream, what we think and feel become manifest before us. In our waking reality, this is also the case. However, we exist in physical bodies and in a reality with a denser, or slower, frequency. Also space and time exist here, and this makes it so that our thoughts take time to manifest and are not instantly manifested like in the dream state. It is the law of mentalism and the ideas that come from contemplating it that traditions and philosophies like magic, alchemy, and the law of attraction are based upon. This principle corresponds to the crown chakra, the color violet, and the extreme high-end frequency range of 20,000 Hz and above. The second Hermetic principle is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The Kabbalion. This principle establishes that what is above is reflected below and vice versa. Manifested physical reality exists in the lower frequency ranges and is but a reflection of that which exists above or within in the higher frequencies of mind. It is this principle that supports the ideas surrounding manifesting things you want, by seeing and visualizing yourself having these things in your mind. A great example of how we as mankind, being created in our Creator's image, have used this concept in our reality is reflected in digital design and how computer coding works. When we are viewing content on our favorite websites on the internet, we are actually seeing visually the result of a deeper working. If you dig deeper by right-clicking and choosing the option to view source, you will discover that the content you are viewing is actually a complex configuration of words and formulas. These configurations are then processed by the mind of the computer and displayed as your visual content. The principle of correspondence corresponds to the third eye chakra, the color indigo, and the high-end frequency spectrum of 10,000 to 20,000 Hz. The third Hermetic principle is the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The Kabbalion. This principle establishes the fact that all things in existence are constantly in motion. Nothing rests. Everything is vibrating at various levels of frequency and vibration. The things that exist in our physical world appear to be stationary, much like a fan blade that is spinning so fast, it appears to not move. Chanting, mantras, hymns, and songs are all tools, spiritual technologies, that vibrate at specific frequencies or patterns of frequencies to effect change in our reality. Since all things are vibrating energy, exposing those things to vibrational patterns can create resonances that can help us create and attract a desired outcome or result. For example, if one desires to cause change to one's personality, then you may listen to frequencies that are aligned with the archetypal energies you want to embody. Or maybe you choose a mantra to say over and over to attempt the same. The principle of vibration corresponds to the throat chakra, the color blue, and the high-end frequency range of 10,000 to 5,000 Hz. The fourth Hermetic principle is the principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet, all truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The Kabbalion. The fourth Hermetic principle establishes that all things in existence have polarity. This principle helps us to transmute polarity and bring balance by understanding that resistance is a natural part of life. Anything you do, any perspective you adopt will have its opposite. These opposites serve to strengthen each other. For example, let's take the spectrum of experience that we call temperature. On the spectrum of temperature we have the poles of hot and cold. Without cold, hot could not exist, and vice versa. The poles depend on each other for their very existence. It is no coincidence that this principle corresponds to the heart chakra and the color green. In order to transmute negative energy generated by the clash of opposites, we often need to look within our hearts to do so. The principle of polarity corresponds to the mid-range frequency of 1,200 to 5,000 Hz. The fifth Hermetic principle is the principle of rhythm. Everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kabbalion. This principle establishes that what goes up must come down. Life flows like wavelengths. It goes left to right, up and down. The wisdom of this principle teaches us that life is made up of ebb and flow, cycles and seasons. The waxing and waning of the moon and the in and out of the breath. It teaches us to step back and become the observer of our lives, staying centered and not getting swept away by life's tides. Knowing that this too shall pass, no matter the condition, allows us to experience life in a detached and balanced way. The principle of rhythm corresponds to the solar plexus chakra, the color yellow and the frequency range of 600 to 1,200 Hz. The sixth Hermetic principle is the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The Kabbalion. The sixth Hermetic principle establishes that everything that exists, within and without, is either a cause or effect. The wisdom of this principle teaches us that there are no coincidences. This principle corresponds to our sacral chakra and the color orange. It is our reservoir of creative energy, our sexual energy, the energy that creates life. Here, we find inspiration to cause effects, to create. There exists nothing, within or without, that does not have a cause, or does not have a purpose. The principle of cause and effect teaches us that there are no accidents. This principle corresponds with the frequency range of 300 to 600 Hz. The seventh, and final Hermetic principle is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. The Kabbalion. This principle establishes that all things contain both masculine and feminine energies, electric and magnetic qualities. The wisdom that the principle of gender teaches us is we are made up of both positive and negative forces. The union and balance of both our masculine and feminine energies creates harmony within and without us. The electromagnetic spectrum consists of a perfect balance of electric, masculine, and magnetic, feminine, energies. We are made up of this spectrum and are tasked with managing our mind with our emotions, our left brains with our right brains, in order to operate and experience in harmony with creation. The principle of gender corresponds with the root chakra. The color red and the base frequency ranges of 20 to 160 Hz. In this video I have briefly touched upon the 7 Hermetic Principles. Each principle contains a lifetime's worth of study. I hope you gained something of value from this video. If you are interested in researching these principles further, I would suggest a book by the name of The Kybalion, by the 3 Initiates. Also, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth is a great work to help understand Hermetic Principles. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell below to be alerted whenever I post videos. Thank you for watching.